People will say, but how could we ever cut any spending? I'll give you a couple of examples of where your government spends money, and you tell me whether or not we ought to look long and hard about cutting spending. There was a grant given for autism. I have a great deal of sympathy. I know children with autism, for $700,000. But you know what they spent it on? They spent it studying Neil Armstrong's statement. Remember, Neil Armstrong landed on the moon. He said, one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. Well, your government, in their infinite wisdom, wanted to know, did he say one small step for man or one small step for a man? Your government spent $700,000 studying the preposition a. Did he say a man or just man? $700,000. Money that should have been spent on autism was spent on something frivolous. Is anybody going to fix it? No. Every year, all of the spending bills are glommed together in a 2,000-page bill and not one iota of reform. You remember Senator Proxmire from the 70s used to have something called the Golden Fleece Award. Every one of those things he complained about in the 1970s happens now, but tenfold greater. Nobody fixes it. We don't pass individual spending bills. We do continuing resolutions, which means we continue doing the same thing we've done over and over again. $700,000 spent studying Neil Armstrong's statement. And you know what their conclusion was? We're not sure. They spent $700,000 and they're still not sure. Did he say a man or one small step for man? We spent $500,000 studying whether or not when you take a selfie, if you're smiling in the selfie, does it ultimately make you feel better? $500,000. And so what do we do? Do we give these people less money? Teach them a lesson. Give them less money, and maybe they'll conserve the money. Maybe they'll eliminate waste if they have less money next year than they had this year. Or, what I'm proposing, freeze the spending. Is anybody proposing that? No. We say they spent $500,000 on selfies. Give them more next year. So the Republican budget will increase spending every year. It increases spending at about 5% a year. So spending goes up, and they say it's the baseline. And they say we're cutting off the baseline. No, the baseline goes up 5% a year. Spending will increase over the 10-year period. The red line is spending. Part of that's what the Republicans are proposing. They are going to stay on the spending curve. If we stay on the spending curve, they will continue to spend $700,000 studying Neil Armstrong's statement. They will continue to spend $500,000 on selfies. They spent another $500,000 on a climate change game. They spent $45 million to build a natural gas station in Afghanistan. $45 million. First problem, nobody in Afghanistan has a car that runs on natural gas. They discovered this after they built the gas station. The gas station was 86 times cost overrun. The original estimate was about $500,000 for the gas station, but lo and behold, somehow it cost $45 million. If your government had 86 times cost overrun, would you give them more money or give them less money? I frankly think we should give them less money. If you give them more money, they will not waste it less. They will waste it the same or worse. They should be given less money.